session. God save the state and this honorable court. Please be seated.
Good morning and welcome to the Court of Appeals of Maryland on this very special day. It is fitting that we are gathered here in this historic courtroom. Coming in, you might not have thought that the courtroom would be historic because the outside of the building bears all the marks of construction from the 1970s. But this courtroom is the same one that was previously in the 1903 courthouse that was down the road about a mile, that itself was steps from the State House where the Court of Appeals first met. This courtroom was dismantled, carried up here, and put back together, so it is the same one that the court has been meeting in for more than a century. The origins of the Court of Appeals date back to the mid-17th century, and from the beginning, it has welcomed lawyers who have advocated zealously and professionally for their clients and their interests of their clients, and in doing so have contributed mightily to the development of the law and to respect for and faith in the rule of law. You are now taking up their mantle. You'll hear more from me and from the bench soon. But first, I'd like to turn to Professor Sakina Tillman, distinguished member of the bar, for some remarks, and then to ask if she might perhaps have a motion for the court to consider.
Thank you. Good morning. Chief Judge Fader, may it please the court. My name is Sakina Tillman, and I'm the president of Miami-Dade City Bar Association. With your permission, I will introduce the distinguished members of this court based on seniority to the new admittees and their guests. First, Chief Judge Matthew J. Fader, Howard County. Honorable Shirley M. Watts of Baltimore City. Honorable Michelle D. Halton of Prince George's County. Honorable Brenda M. Booth of Talbot County. Honorable Jonathan Baran of Anne Arundel County. Honorable Stephen B. Gold of Montgomery County. And Honorable Angela M. Eves of Harford County. The court asked me to speak to you briefly today as you thoroughly enter this elite legal profession. I am so honored to do so, both by the court, but most importantly by you in the company of your friends, families, and loved ones. You have so much to be proud of. Those inducted today have undergone years of undergrad, law school, countless hours for studying for the bar exam. And finally, to pass the bar, which is such an amazing milestone. 8 years ago, I was sitting where you are. I was nervous, but also excited about this achievement. Although it was 8 years ago, it still feels like yesterday. When you leave today, this is a day that you will never forget. It is customary for someone in my shoes to offer advice about what does it mean to go forward from here. The practice of law is a privilege that's just a tiny segment of what our societies get to experience. However, it is the practice of law and the administration of justice that is the focal point of the many in our society. Too much is given, much is required. Through the practice of law, you have the ability to be a difference maker. It is a crucial time in America to be an attorney. Currently, we are in the middle of a global crisis, a racial pandemic, worldwide expression of outrage at the senseless killing of unarmed Black human beings. We even have to question if our children are safe at school. As an attorney, you can advocate for justice and equality, but most importantly, you can help to change the laws. As my new brothers and sisters of the law, you have the aptitude to help change this world for the better. This is a heavy task, but I know that you can do it. Here are some tips that I think that will help you along the way. And these are also tips that I practice. First, make your mental health a priority. This means making sure that you practice self-care on a consistent basis. Taking care of yourself, your body, health, and mental well-being are so important, not just because to feel better, but to also perform better in the long run and to help others. The legal profession is so demanding. It can require working complex cases and long hours that can put someone at risk for legal and illegal substance abuse. A recent study conducted by the ABA Commission Lawyer Assistance Program and the Hazelton Betty Ford Foundation showed that nearly 21% of lawyers and others in the legal profession were considered problem drinkers. In addition, 36% of attorneys struggle with alcohol abuse. If you are unable to help yourself, it will be challenging to help your clients and therefore be there for those that you love. During your legal career, you will encounter many highs and lows. Learn to get through the lows in life will help you build character, perseverance, and determination. There's a book called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, which gives 4 lessons known as the agreements, which I still love and practice to this day. The first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. Mean what you say and say what you mean. When you're impeccable with your word, you will never betray yourself. You will never use words to gossip about yourself or spread emotional poison by gossiping about others. The legal community is small. There may come a time in your career where you may have to resign from a position, or you're working with someone that you dislike. Always handle situations with grace and still speak well about those you dislike, because you will never know if you need that person again. Secondly, don't take things personal. Nothing about what other people do is about you. It is because of themselves. All people live in their own dream, in their own minds, and they are in a completely different world than the one that we live in. When we take something personal, we make assumptions that they know what is in our world, and we try to impose our world onto theirs. Remember that some people are fighting battles that we know nothing about. Thus, always make sure that you're always kind. Don't make assumptions. Humans have a powerful imagination, and there are so many ideas and stories that we can imagine. We listen to the symbols talking in our heads. We start imagining what other people are doing, what they're thinking, and what they're saying about us. And we dream things up in our imagination. We invent a whole story that's only true for us, but we believe it. One assumption leads to another. We jump to conclusions, and we take our story personally. Assumptions are nothing more than the lies that we're telling ourselves. This creates a big drama for nothing that we know nothing about because we're not sure if it's true or not. If you're unsure about something, seek clarity and get the answers that you need. Lastly, always do your best. Your best doesn't mean that you're 100% correct, but it means that you gave it your all. Your best is going to change from moment to moment, and it will be different as opposed to when you're healthy and are sick. Under any circumstances, do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. Congratulations on this significant endeavor. I wish you nothing but the best. Now, with the permission of the court, I move for the admission to the Bar of Maryland, the candidates seated here before you. I request by your pre-assigned numerical order, starting with the candidate in front of the podium, the candidates please stand individually, announce your full name, then resume to your seats.